Okay, hi guys. So this is my first video for my own YouTube channel in about 3 or 4 years. So since I made the last one, I obviously moved out of the UK and now I live in Australia. Lived in Brisbane for a while, so moved out to Sydney. Had the pleasure of meeting some great coaches along the way, especially up in Brisbane, and a couple of good ones in Sydney as well. So obviously this time of year people are setting goals for fat loss and planning for the year ahead in terms of results. So I want to make myself useful and kind of give you my top tips, if you like, to kind of ensure you do get some good results this year and kind of on the right path from the get-go, rather than kind of wasting time and effort. Also, a little bit about me, people who don't know me. Also, my name is Brian. I've been a personal trainer now for, it's coming to my 8th year. Obviously worked in the UK and now Australia. So I've met a lot of great coaches along the way, I've learned a lot from. I also run a separate channel called Fitness, where I get the pleasure of interviewing top coaches from around the world and obviously learning from their expertise as well. So yeah, hopefully I can channel some of that wisdom and knowledge into something useful for you. Hopefully you'll be on the right track for getting results in no time. Okay, number one, obviously, you need to set a goal, but I think a lot of people don't quantify it or are not objective enough about it. So don't get too lost in the emotional what ifs. Really just be really clinical. Almost, it sounds cold, but kind of be clinical and objective about it. All you really need to do is take a snapshot of where you are now, so get your body fat assessed and your weight, and obviously get some ways to hit measurements done if you're going for fat loss. Also, get your body fat done. Obviously, if you can distinguish between fat mass, your overall weight, and obviously lean muscle mass, even better. Then you can see where your progress is coming from. So you're not just losing muscle mass, you're actually dropping fat, which is what you want. Just get an objective snapshot of where you are. Make sure you've got an objective way to reassess as you go along, either every 2 weeks or a month, to make sure you are on the right track. Because then obviously as you go along, if things need to change, you can see where they need to change, if you do need to. If not, obviously the plan's working. But the most important thing is just get that process done, objectively, get a little snapshot done, decide where you're at now, and decide where you want to go, and then that's what you've got to do. Just keep it real simple, because the most important thing really is you've got to take action. I think a lot of people talk about what ifs and maybes and fantastical things, but never really get on to actually do anything about them. So just take a snapshot, decide where you want to go. That's what we've got to do at this first stage. Okay, number two, I would definitely say 100% before you get a nutrition plan put together, or even think about some sort of nutrition plan. I don't care whether it's what you want to do, paleo, a proper tailored approach with a coach, or whether you want to do eat carbs every second Tuesday wearing your baseball cap backwards. What you've got to do is you've got to get your food intolerances checked out. So the reason I say that is obviously, you can be intolerant to foods which are pretty healthy. There are good, healthy, nutritious foods which should help most people with fat loss, but you just happen to, your digestive system just doesn't get on with them for whatever reason. So obviously if your digestive systems are flamed and generally pissed off, that's going to make fat loss, if it does happen, very hard. Usually you find it tends to stop you dead in your tracks. So get your food intolerances checked out. I'll give you an example, not that I'm hating on paleo at all, but a lot of paleo is obviously healthy fat, which is good, it's fine, it's good for you. Obviously they have a lot of things like eggs and nuts, and obviously avocados, coconut, all that sort of stuff. For example, eggs and nuts are, they are good, healthy, nutritious foods. But if you're intolerant to them, they make up quite a bit of your diet, then obviously not going to be of much benefit to you, and obviously going to cost you results. So that's why you need to be objective about getting some food intolerances checked out, and just make sure your diet plan you do put together doesn't have foods in there your body just doesn't get on with. And then best case scenario, those foods are going to be pointless for you because you won't absorb them. Worst case scenario, if you're having enough of them, is they're going to basically disrupt digestion. And possibly mean that you're not going to digest some of your other foods either, which obviously not good at all, especially for kind of fat loss, and even if you're going for muscle gain as well, you don't really want that going on. Next thing, point 3, I would say be aware that there is no such thing as the one perfect diet. So obviously you see a lot of these programs, these nutrition programs advertised on TV and the internet, that promise fantastical things. They're not going to work for everyone. The best plan, plain and simply, is always going to be tailored for you. It's always going to be tailored for you based on where you've been, where you're at currently, and where you want to go. Simple as that. That's why a lot of the online and the ones on TV are very hit and miss. It's because the way they approach, usually just by cutting calories, will work in a certain set of circumstances, and if you don't happen to be in those certain circumstances, it's not going to work. So what do I mean by that? So for example, cutting calories works if your metabolism is healthy and you've got food to cut. There's enough food there to actually take out without starving you to half to death. Yeah. So most people do those diet plans initially for the first time. Probably had years of loads of food, little activity. Probably never really dieted before. So once you do it the first time, yeah, it works great. For my own female clients, I know when I kind of do this thing, second or third time around, law of diminishing returns, don't get as good results, if any, and then they're kind of stuck in a rut, not really getting anywhere. So the trouble is, when you cut calories, the body's going to adapt by slowing down metabolism. So unfortunately, after 12 weeks, you've got that first good initial result. Usually you find you're stuck in a bit of a rut. Sometimes the body fat can come on just as quick, if not quicker than when it came on, unless you're careful about what you do. What you really need to do long term is, if you have cut calories, is slowly start to increase them again. So I won't get into too much detail there, but just accept the fact that the best diet plan for you is always going to be one that's tailored for you. So you're going to have to find someone that can look at where you've been, where you're at, where you want to go, and tailor the best program for you. It's also going to be adaptive as well, based on the results you get. And obviously things change as you go along, so if your diet can be changed to work around things and obviously keep you going forward results, then that's going to be the best way for you. Number 4, I would say, was get some good help. Operative word there being good. So good advice, expert advice. Obviously a good trainer or a good coach. How do you pick a good trainer or a good coach? Very simple. Just look for reputation for results. So if they've been in business for a number of years, they've got they can provide either client testimonials or, even better, I think, before and after pictures that you can see, and that relates to the kind of results that you want to get, then perfect. At the end of the day, their job is to get you results, and that's the most important thing, is whether they've got a reputation to get you results. If they're in great shape, then that's the bonus, because obviously I would find that inspiring to work with someone who's in great shape as well. But if they haven't got a reputation for getting people results, then you can't take a bit of a chance there. Before and after pictures, I know there's been a lot in the media about things being easily faked and all the rest of it. I think they can be faked. As someone who used to work it many years ago, building websites and design work, and knows his way around Photoshop. I can certainly fake stuff if I want. The good thing is, for me, with my eyes, I can see when stuff has been faked. What you want to look for, basically, this is why I kind of keep my pictures pretty simple, is I would just look for stuff that's been taken on a camera phone, both the before and the after. If the before was taken on the camera phone, the after was taken by a professional in the studio with lighting and fake tan, maybe be a little bit more dubious about it. Not to say it isn't true, but I think just the honest impromptu shots like that, they to me look more genuine. You can see they're genuine. If someone looks leaner in crap light, without fake tan and stuff, and damn, they've obviously got a good result. I also look for a string of them as well. So obviously any half-assed coach or trainer can get at least one decent result in their career. I'm a big believer in play again, Sam. So the way I assess if a coach is good is what the results they're currently getting. What was their latest one? Have they got a string of them that goes back over a few years? Obviously, if you can get that, even better. Obviously, talk to people that train with them, that have trained with them before. If you do that one-on-one, person-to-person, even better. And just make sure they get results to what you're looking for. So what I mean by that is, for example, if you want to go for fat loss, go with someone who's got a reputation for fat loss. If you want to go for someone who gets great physiques and puts people on stage, then go for someone who gets great physiques, puts them on stage. If you want to get strong, then go for a powerlifter or a specialist strength coach. Simple as that. Pick the right coach for the type of goal that you're looking for. As much as I'd like to say, us coaches can get you results in most things, I think there's definitely people that are better at certain specialist things, and they're the kind of people that I tend to learn from when I want to add strings to my bow. So yeah, definitely pick someone who's got repetition results for what you're looking for, 100%. Okay, last point I would say is to keep it simple. Don't get too hung up in expensive supplement protocols. This is one of the things I've learned talking to coaches on the Fitness channel from around the world. I've been coaching for 10, 15, 20, 25 years. Still for the most part, the biggest battles has been consistent with a well thought out nutrition plan, a well thought out training plan, and the operative word there is consistent. As much as there are amazing supplement protocols out there and magical supplements and crazy fandangled complicated training programs, it's usually found for the most part your biggest results are going to come from just stuff that's simple but done really well and consistently. You can use supplements. I'm not going to poo-poo supplements and say they're crap and don't do anything. I would say you've got to be very choice about which ones you do use and how you use them as well. I think the best supplement protocols and regimes are chosen with a good in-depth knowledge of the client. So obviously look at the previous nutrition history, current nutrition history, and definitely getting some blood work done, some quality blood work done, obviously getting that interpreted correctly as well. From that, then you can make some pretty sound recommendations for any supplements, and even then you usually just find it's pretty basic stuff. It needs to usually get too complicated for the most part. Sometimes there are cases where you might need to, but in my experience they're pretty few and far between. Like I said, the biggest battle is just being consistent with the basics, which is consistent with a good, well thought out nutrition plan and consistent with a good, well thought out training plan. It's as simple as that. As long as you're objective along the way and measure your progress, you should be fine. Okay, so a quick recap. So number one, if you're setting goals, all we really do is taking a snapshot of where you are, decide where you want to go, get an objective way to measure progress. That's what you've got to really do when you set your goal. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. To definitely get food intolerances done, even if you not necessarily want to lose weight or lose fat, I would definitely recommend this for health. Just from my experience and clients' experience, people generally tend to feel a lot better energy, sleep better when you're not eating food that's generally pissing your body off. As simple as that. Plus, if you get the actual test done, it lets you see which foods you do definitely need to take out, and you're not going to risk taking out ones you don't need to. I think the best way to eat long term is to have as many different foods, as much food as possible, while still staying lean, getting lean, or having good health. Number three, there is no perfect diet plan. Regardless of what the adverts say, they're obviously trying to say something. Best nutrition plan always takes into account where you've been, where you're at, and where you want to go, and is going to be adaptive to results as you go. So things are going to have to change slightly as you go. If you've got that objective way to measure your progress with like body fat and measurements, then it makes that process a lot easier. Okay. Get some good quality help and advice. So obviously a good coach is going to help steer you in the right direction. Like I say, look for a reputation for good results first and foremost. That supersedes anything else. If they can't get results, then what's the point unless you want to rent a friend? I don't know, maybe some people do. That's not the way I sort of coach people. I want to give people results. Also, people know me, train with me, know I actually get more frustrated and pissed off when they don't get results than they do. So, but I think that's the sign of a good coach, really. It's generally actually caring about the results your clients get, I think, first and foremost. And number five, keep it simple. Don't get swayed with complicated supplement programs, spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars or pounds on supplements and all the rest that you not necessarily need. Usually find, especially even if you are spinning your wheels, it's quite a crass phrase, but usually you find the actual answer is waving its dick in your face. I got that from another coach, made me laugh. Usually it's something basic, like you're inconsistent with your diet somehow, you've got a food intolerance, or you just train like an idiot. You need to train higher. So yeah, but sometimes there can be cases for more complicated approaches. But even then, you got to be careful what you're doing, because at best you might waste money, and worst case, you might make things slightly worse. So you got to be careful with supplements sometimes. Okay, so those are my 5 top tips. Hopefully you found these useful. Obviously, it's hard for me to condense kind of 8 years worth of experience down into 5 top tips. But that's what I would do. But definitely, if you don't do anything else, even if you don't want to set yourself a goal this year or don't have one, get your food intolerances checked out. It makes such a big difference just to overall well-being. It's unbelievable. And other than the initial fee for getting the test done, it doesn't actually cost you any money. It's not like you have to buy special foods or magical supplements or anything. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that. So any questions, comments, let me know, either on YouTube, Facebook, email. If anything else you guys think you might want me to go over, obviously let me know and I'll do my best to go through it. Apart from that, thanks guys, cheers.